Hi everyone, this is Mr. Zirkle and this video discusses El Nino and La Nina. The El Nino Southern Oscillation, also called Enso, is a recurring climate pattern involving changes in the temperatures of waters in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. On periods ranging from about 3 to 7 years, the surface waters across a large swath of the tropical Pacific Ocean warm or cool by anywhere from 1 to 3 degrees Celsius compared to normal. This oscillating warming and cooling pattern, referred to as the Enso cycle, directly affects rainfall distribution in the tropics and can have a strong influence on weather across the United States and other parts of the world. El Nino and La Nina are the extreme phases of the Enso cycle, and between these two phases is a third phase called the Enso neutral phase. Enso is one of the most important climate phenomena on Earth due to its ability to change the global atmospheric circulation, which in turn influences temperatures and precipitation across the globe. We also focus on Enso because we can often predict its arrival many seasons in advance of its strongest impacts on weather and climate. Let's begin by looking at El Nino and its impacts. The term El Nino was coined when South American fishermen noticed the warming of coastal waters every so often around Christmas time. They referred to the warming as El Nino, or little boy child, in connection with the Christmas holiday. In addition to the warm ocean waters, the fishermen also noticed that fish that normally populated the coastal regions would migrate to cooler waters. This migration has to do with something called upwelling. During normal years, wind blowing across the ocean surface pushes water away from the coast, and it allows deep, cold water from below to rise up. This deep, cold water is nutrient rich, and it causes an increase in plankton and phytoplankton upon which fish feed. Therefore, areas of upwelling are typically good fishing grounds. So, back to El Nino. During an El Nino phase, waters in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean begin to warm. Trade winds, which normally push east to west, weaken, and sometimes they may even blow in the opposite direction from west to east. Without trade winds pushing water away from the coast, there is no upwelling that occurs, and without upwelling, there are no nutrients getting to the surface, which eventually causes a collapse of the fishing industry off the coast of South America. Weather-wise, during an El Nino event, the Pacific jet is pushed far to the south, bringing a series of storms and heavy rains to California and much of the southern U.S. The polar jet, which often brings with it cold Arctic air, is kept well to the north, causing warmer and drier conditions than normal along the U.S. East Coast. Additionally, there is a decrease in Atlantic hurricanes during El Nino events. The opposite phase of El Nino, called La Nina, occurs when ocean waters cool in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. Trade winds increase in strength, pushing water away from the South American coast, causing strong upwelling and great fishing conditions for fishermen. Weather-wise, during a La Nina event, the Pacific jet shifts further north and becomes variable, while the polar jet dips southward. This causes dry conditions across the south and below average temperatures across much of the north and east during the winter. The last phase of Enso is the neutral phase. During the neutral phase, the water in the equatorial Pacific Ocean is neither above nor below average. The trade winds blow from east to west, pushing water away from South American coast, allowing upwelling to occur. Typical weather impacts associated with neutral events include colder than normal temperatures across north central and northeast portions of the U.S. during the winter due to a polar jet stream shifted further south. Meanwhile, warmer temperatures are favored across the southern U.S., with above normal precipitation favored across portions of the southeast U.S. Enso is really just one of the major climate cycles that affect climate globally. It shows just how strongly coupled the atmosphere and the ocean really are. Other climate cycles include the North Atlantic Oscillation, which affects the East Coast weather, and the Pacific Decadal Oscillation, which is similar to Enso but occurs over decades. Alright, well, that's the end of this video. If you have any questions or concerns, please message us. Otherwise, we'll see you soon.